What up, what up, what up? Welcome back to 49 Faithfully. We're your hosts, Miriah Lee and Taryn Lewis. TL, my guy, happy Tuesday. What's up? Happy Victory Tuesday. What's up? How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing real good. I saw a lot of Niner jerseys today. I'm like, oh, okay, everybody out here representing the day.
Love it. Love it. Chat, what's up? Happy Victory Tuesday to most of you. Um, as you see, it's supposed to be Shit Talking Tuesday with Ty, but Ty was traveling back home from the game today and his flight got delayed, so he couldn't be here with us. So, we're taking it over like the old days. 49 Faithfully in the building. Let's start from the top. Throwback, what's up? Appreciate you as always. Followed by Don. Appreciate you, of course, sis. Daniel Barry, what's good? Brandon, happy Loser Tuesday to you.
Huh.
Niakila, what's good? Maria, happy Victory Tuesday. Jedi, Bang Bang Niner Gang. What's up, Pam? Appreciate you coming through. Jimmy, what's good? Rob D, what up, what up? Rob says he's seen 49er gear all over New York City.
Man, love to see
Love
that.
to see it. Yep. What's this say? Want to know? We used to it. Yep, that's right. Yeah, man, felt good. Felt so good for football to be back this weekend. Get to watch, football. Got to enjoy football because I didn't have to worry about my own team playing and being stressed. And then, Monday Night Football started off with a bang, with the dub at home. Love to see it. Before we get into any 49ers, anything though, I want to start off with something. What's up, Alberto? Steve-O, what's good? That doesn't, really necessarily pertain directly to the 49ers. However, it could at one time pertain to them. And so, since this is a football podcast, I would feel pretty shitty to not use my platform in the way that I feel it should be used. So we are going to start with a video here that probably, a lot of people have already seen. Some maybe haven't seen it. And so that's why I'm going to play it before I speak on it. So, that I'm not just talking about something that nobody understands what I'm talking about. So those that don't know, Tyreek Hill, Miami Dolphins wide receiver, was pulled over. There was another Miami Dolphins player in the car as well. And they were pulled over on their way to the game, actually, on Sunday morning. And this is the video from that incident from the police cam. Let me start it here.
Why don't you have your seatbelt on? Why don't you have your seatbelt on? Like what? Why do you have it on? Hey, keep your window down. Hey, keep your window down. Keep your window down. I'm gonna get you out of the car. As a matter of fact, get out of the car. Give me that. Get out of the car. Give me that. Break that freaking window. Get out of the car. Get out of the car right now. We're not playing this game. Get out. 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 What part of that don't you understand? Hey, Drew. Hey, Drew. I'm getting arrested, Drew. I'm getting arrested. I'm getting arrested, Drew.
I'm getting out, bro. God damn, twin.
When we tell you to do something, you do it. You understand?
I'm getting out.
You understand? Not what you want, but what we tell you. You're a little fucking confused.
I'm getting out, bro.
Too late.
Chill,
Too late.
All right, bro. Take me to jail, bro. Do what you gotta do, bro.
We are. We will.
Good, bro.
It is good.
Hey.
Don't worry about it. I hung up the phone. You stop crying.
Bro.
Don't move.
Good. Bro, you beating on my window like you crazy.
Set him up.
Why y'all beating on my window like y'all crazy for? Damn, yo, bro. Bro, dude, beating on my window like he crazy. I ain't do nothing, twin. Damn.
Hey, don't park there. Don't park there.
Hey. Hold on, bro. I just had surgery on my knee. bro. I just had surgery on my knee, bro.
I just heard you in your ears when we got there.
Chill, bro. Hey, don't do, bro.
Back up.
Hey, call Drew. Hey, call Drew. Call Drew, bro. Call Drew. Hey, call Drew, bro. Hey, what? Hey, call Drew, bro. Just call Drew. Hey.
I'm not doing anything. What am I doing that's wrong?
Hey, listen.
Hey, listen. Hey, man, they got Tyreek. The cops over here beating on him, man. They over here beating on Tyreek,
Listen,
man.
big man, don't park there, man. Just get in
Hey,
the car.
Drew, you gotta come, man.
Just get in the car.
Right up the side, on the side of the
Hey, get in the car. You're parked in the middle of the street.
I'm in the car.
You gotta go before you get a ticket.
Hey,
I'm
in
not
the car.
Who's the driver? This is my car.
All right, move.
All right, I'll take that.
You gotta move right now.
Coming, man.
Let me have your license. You're gonna have to get to.
I'm coming.
Let me have your license. You're gonna have to get. Let me have your license.
I'm leaving.
I'm not playing. Let me have your license.
Yo, what's
Your
going
license
on?
right now.
Sir, what's going on,
Your license right now. You're not gonna give me your license.
Get in the car and leave.
You're not gonna give me your license. I'm leaving.
Let me have your license. Your license right now.
Sir,
Hey, your license right now. Or I'm gonna lock you up. Your license right now.
He just told me to
Your
leave.
license right now.
Sir,
You're dealing with me now.
Sir.
Your license right now.
Prior to this video coming out, obviously the whole football world had already known that, they had got stopped, yada yada. The Dolphins released a statement. The Miami-Dade Police, whatever county, released a statement saying that they back their officers, they stand behind their officers and what was done, all that. And then the video comes out. Since other statements have come out, the Miami Dolphins since released another statement saying, the video pretty much shows what it shows, right? The cops are supposed to be there to de-escalate situations, and that didn't appear to have happened there. Especially, okay, I can understand you getting pissed at Tyreek. He puts his window up, he's not listening as you're banging on his fucking window. Okay, but to snatch him out of the fucking car for that, and then all that happens, and then the guy's they're trying to sit him on the curb, right? So he's trying to tell him I just had surgery, and the other guy could give two shits less. He just comes over and fucking slams him down, and then Jonnu Smith has nothing to even do with the situation. He just is driving to work, sees his teammates got pulled over, right? So stops to check on his homies, the same fucking thing I would do if I see one of my people on the side of the road fucking being like that with the fucking police. I'm going to pull over and check on my fucking people. And, one cop's telling him, okay, you can't park here, which, okay, I get it, right? And then the other one's, give me your ID, give me your ID, give me, what the fuck? Calm the fuck down. So very crazy situation. And I found when I was reading comments and seeing what people had to say about it, a lot of people kept wanting to throw out the fact, oh, who gives a fuck, it's Tyreek, he beats women, he does this, who gives a shit, it's Tyreek. So many responses I kept seeing, who gives a shit, it's Tyreek. What about when it isn't Tyreek? What about when it's your fucking brother? When it's your father? When it's your sister? When it's your mother? What about when it's not a billionaire that can speak out and have cameras and have a whole football team sticking up for them? What happens when it's the poor guy down the street that's getting fucking pulled over and that happens to them? What happens when they're not so lucky like Tyreek to get let out of those handcuffs and be able to walk away and be able to go to work? Because instead they got bullets fucking put in their head because you have cops that are so gung-ho to fucking, they see black men and have to start, oh, he's rolling up the window, he probably has a gun, he probably, like, you're so fucking scared that you have to then act like you're fucking tough and macho. You know, like, it's disgusting. And time after time after time after time, we see this happen and happen and happen and happen. You know, and unfortunately, you know, I can't always use my platform to talk about this shit because it's not football related. And so then half of the subscribers going to say, you know what, this bitch is going crazy talking about something that's not football related, so we're out of here. You know, and I'm tired of not being able to speak on shit because I'm worried about what you fucking people are going to say or not going to say. This is my platform and I'm going to use it to speak on shit that I feel is not fucking right. And this shit ain't fucking right. And I'm tired of turning on the fucking news and seeing kids getting fucking killed. I'm tired of turning on the news and seeing black people getting harassed by fucking cops over and over and over and over and over. Like, enough is a fucking enough. It's 2024. Like, why are we doing this still? It's fucking disgusting. You know, and I wish that I was a billionaire and I had money because that seems to be the only thing that solves anything in this fucking United States is money. It's only people with money that have the power to do anything. And I wish that I had the money to be able to solve things because unfortunately, me, just a poor fucking bitch here, don't have money or power to solve anything. But what I do have is a platform. So I'm sorry if you guys want to get pissed off and leave, or you guys want to think, oh, fuck it, who cares? It's Tyreek. But guess what? It's not always just going to be Tyreek. It's not always going to be a woman beater. Sometimes it's an innocent person that gets harassed for no fucking reason but the color of their fucking skin. And I'm tired. I'm fucking tired of it.
So, man, you like Mike dropped everybody on here. Well, I'll say this. Were they wrong on both sides? Yes. One, the cop didn't have to be that aggressive. That was ridiculous. You did not have to grab that man by his neck and pull him out the car and all this other stuff. But I deal with a lot of young teenagers being a counselor, and I tell them all the time, just comply. Like, that just, you know, as a African American man myself in his 40s, mid 40s, I've been pulled over numerous times. You know, just years of my life, just whether I was speeding or whatever the case may be. You know, and each and every time, and I would say have been pulled over maybe 10 times in my life. I've gotten one ticket for speeding because I was literally speeding. I was going like 70 and like a 40 or something like that. So I deserved the ticket. For the most, you know, I've been fortunate. I'll say this. I'm not saying, and before I finish, let me say, is there racism? Absolutely. I'm not sitting here trying to say there's no racist cops, stuff like that, but there's a bunch of bad apples in every profession. There's bad lawyers, there's bad judges, there's bad cops, any bad teachers, whatever you want to deal with. However, it just seems like there's just a overabundance of aggression when it comes to black men. Because I don't know if it's just because, like, you know, it's just they're fearful, they assume whatever the case may be. But like I said before I start talking about another situation, me as a black man, like I said, I've been fortunate that I've been pulled over. 90% of the cops have been white. You know what, sir? You know, is there a reason why you're pulling me over? Most time I knew, but if there wasn't some people, yeah, you know, you did this, you did that. I was respectful, they were respectful, and most of the time I was let go without even getting a ticket. So I'm not saying that you just because you're respectful doesn't mean that you won't get the, you know, aggressive nature of a police officer. But I'm not going to sit here and bash all police officers because I know some good ones. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things where you're right, Mariah. Like it shouldn't have to take somebody that has money for it to be like, oh well, he's and half of them fools are probably Dolphins fans because they live there, they're in Miami. Oh well, let's just go ahead and slap on the wrist and let him go and not be too aggressive and not overdo it because I want to see him on the field in an hour. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think that's right either. But it just comes to the point where, like me, I'll just say this, I just you have a better chance of not being messed with if you're just respectful and just comply. But like I said, was Tyreek Hill wrong on his end? He had the window rolled down already. You should just left it down. If you know you're not doing, here's my thing. If you know you're not doing anything, and you know you don't have any drugs in the car or a weapon that's not registered, wherever the case may be, just leave the window down because you see how it all ended with them saying it was Tyreek Hill. But what I will say is, when the guy pulled over in the Range Rover to see what was going on with his friend, why did the cops ask him for his driver's license when he did nothing wrong? Like he was trying to find problems. I can pull over and check on my friend if I want to. Well, I have committed no crime. Why are you asking for my license and registration? That's what I don't
Especially
like.
when they're telling him, okay, just move your car, like
Yeah.
being cool. And then you have the other guy just barges right in between. Like you weren't even in like the dealing, like
Exactly.
he had to keep barging himself into each situation. That was my problem. I'm not sitting here saying not once did I say Tyreek did nothing wrong. So you guys coming at me in the fucking comments saying, oh, well, he just did that. Like I didn't fucking say he didn't. I said he should have rolled down the window. He should have listened.
And he was doing 60 and a 40. That's 20 miles over the speed limit.
I'm not acting like the guy's innocent. That wasn't the point of this. And it wasn't. It's not just this situation. How many times do people just comply and still shit happens? It's not, oh, just comply. You speak very respectful. You're very calm. You're a lot different than a lot of other Black people. So just because your situations have ended peacefully, I've been pulled over as a white person, as a loud person, white, and cops have fucking harassed me. So why would I not think that they're doing that to people that don't look like me? Like I've seen it happen. I'm married to a Mexican woman. I see the racism first fucking hand. So don't get in this fucking chat and tell me that racism doesn't fucking exist.
It definitely
because
exists.
if you're saying that, you are part of the fucking problem. If you think racism doesn't exist in the United States, you are the problem. Simple as that. So you can say Tyreek did this, Tyreek did that, Tyreek did this. I don't give a fuck. Did he put those guys in harm? Did he risk their lives for him to get thrown on the ground multiple times? Not just one time, multiple times in a 2-minute video. What happened after that video stopped? How many more times did he get thrown on the ground? They're doing that while a video's rolling. What do they do when the video's not fucking rolling? What have they done so many times when they didn't wear body cams? When there was nothing to supposedly get them out of trouble. They're shooting innocent people on camera. They don't care. So what are they doing when there's no camera? That's the point. Yeah, it was Tyreek Hill this time. Yeah, Tyreek Hill rolled up his fucking window. Guess what? I've seen thousands of people in those comments saying, I roll back up my window every single time. I didn't get yanked out of my car ever. But guess what? He did. Not every situation is this. Like shit. Like just because it hasn't happened to you don't mean it's not happening to other people. Like I watched my wife get fucking harassed, get fucking treated like racist piece, like from racist pieces of shit until I walk up next to her and then the person's like, oh yeah, you didn't know a white person was going to be next to her, right? You didn't know that was going to happen. So yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Hashtag JP Mason to get into the giveaway because JP Mason, woo,
Man.
man, oh man. Let me tell you guys, when we're sitting there getting ready for the game and I get a notification come across my phone that says CMC has been ruled out. I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. It's week 1. You're taking away our biggest weapon week 1. Okay. But then I thought, we've been telling everybody that's not a 49er fan about JP Mason already for a couple years. We've been screaming it to the high heavens for Kyle. Put JP Mason in. Get Mason some run. Let Mason spell CMC some. Give CMC a rest. Stop running CMC into the ground. You got Mason. Look what Mason does given his first opportunity. Woo! In front of his family. That boy was good. That boy was good. And so let's start with the CMC injury, what came out today, because that kind of, then we can talk about Mason and what his outlook looking forward. So let me pull up this thing here from this doctor. And then Coach Desi as well got in the space and spoke about this earlier too. So Kyle Shanahan on Christian McCaffrey says Achilles issue is tendonitis, which has flared up and gone away at different times. Shanahan said if it had been a playoff game, he thinks CMC would have played. Now, remember, if you had watched the Two Goat show on Thursday with me and Steph, we had talked about, and I brought up how I had seen people saying, Jesse, shout out to Jesse Naylor as one, saying that when they had seen previously injury reports listed as just the calf, that's what CMC's injury was at first, calf. That's what it was listed at, calf strain or calf, something like that. Then they added calf/Achilles the start of the week. And Jesse had retweeted and said, when I see this happen in sports previously, once that Achilles gets added onto the injury report and the player goes out there and plays, that Achilles pops. So Steph and I talked about it on Thursday. Should CMC play? What's going to happen? Now, CMC didn't play. It's coming out. Okay, this is what it is. So Dr. Jesse Morse, he comments on a lot of sports things on Twitter. He says, Christian McCaffrey says this is likely acute tendonitis, inflammation of the tendon on top of chronic tendinopathy, wear and tear of the tendon. He's likely dealing with the acute phase now, and it will calm down. But this plus calf issue is likely going to wax and wane as the season progresses. Hopefully there is no intertraditional tears of the Achilles tendon and just the tendonitis. Translation, CMC should be back sooner than later, but this likely isn't the last time we hear of this. Somebody then had commented and had asked him and said, how often do you see Achilles tendonitis lead to rupture or be a precursor to a tear? And he says, not super common, but we don't know the quality of the Achilles tendon. My guess is that this is acute tendonitis on chronic tendinopathy, whatever. If he has a partial tear in the Achilles tendon, then that could lead to a full thickness tear. As of now, I don't believe he has that. So that's what he said. When Coach Desi got in the space and spoke on it, she made it seem like that's the biggest concern now, is that it's going to tear. So I don't know. I know that we now play on turf the next 2 games. So I mean, I'm no doctor or no team, nothing, but if it were up to me, I wouldn't be sending him out there
No.
on fucking turf with anything going on. And I feel even better about that after the performance from Mason, knowing that, okay, he's more than just a change of back. He's more than just a goal line back. Like, this guy can carry the load. And he
Absolutely.
had more carries than CMC had at ever in a game last season. He had last night. So, and from all accounts, came out of it fine. Healthy, fine as could be. So, yeah, very scary situation here with CMC, you know. And I felt like, and I don't want to say it's like you're just knocking on wood and just waiting, and but it's like we know he had injuries, and it's like we already got 2 good seasons out, like, you know, a season and a half or whatever, you know,
Yeah.
out of him. And it was just like, is these injuries going to creep back up? You know, like, are we going to keep being lucky and he's going to keep being injury free? You know, like, and I just hate for this to happen to somebody that's so important to our offense and what Kyle does. Your thoughts on CMC and Mason? Hashtag JP Mason to get into the giveaway.
So I'm gonna start off with Mason, and yeah, what he did to me, honestly, was no surprise. You said it, right before you started, making your points on this. We've been clamoring for this guy to get carries. Get this man like 5 to 10 carries a game. Spell Christian McCaffrey to preserve his body. We've been talking about this, like, you know, and me, it's just like and then when they announced him out, it didn't surprise me. But let's just say this: I'm just glad, like, we set him out, and just imagine if we were to play them in their house, because we know how their field is. We saw what happened when we played
Yeah.
there a few years ago with Nick Bosa and, what was it, Solomon Thomas, getting hurt. So yeah, I would rest this man until he's ready. Those Achilles problems can be like, man, they're so tricky that you don't know what's gonna happen. Like, I mean, we go back to the Dre Greenlaw situation. He thought, oh, it's bothering me, but I can go out there, and then him running out on the field without even being touched, no physical contact, his pops. And it's unfortunate. You're right. We got everything we wanted. Like those picks we use on CMC, we got everything we wanted from that guy. It's just,
Mm-hmm.
he's just such a beast. And I've been saying this even when he was with Carolina. I said, man, Christian McCaffrey is to me, he's that dude, in my opinion. You know how you have these corners. You know how you have these corners that get drafted and then they lose a step or two, and they're so good that you want them on the field that you just say, I'm gonna put you a safety because you're that good, like the Charles Woodsons and stuff like that. You know how we had. I've been saying this for about 4 or 5 years now. Christian McCaffrey, to me, has a lot of carries under his belt. Just he could be, to me, he can still be a elite slot receiver. If you change his position, he's such a good route runner. He's has such good IQ. He's still fast, great hands. You can literally move him to wide receiver full time to preserve his body and use JP Mason. I think we'd still be fine. And I'm not saying that JP Mason is going to account for what CMC does. I'm just saying, just having CMC just still on that field, his presence alone, because he's going to cook any linebacker that's on him. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, that's my opinion. I feel like he's been, he's like the perfect person to say, I'm gonna play you, even if it's not full time receiver. Give me 50-50. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So, but yeah, Mason absolutely did his thing. Did he do better than I thought? Yes. I thought, like, if he got 100 yards, or, like, anywhere between
Yeah.
85 to 100 was going to be a great game. But the fact that, he went 104, 147 yards, like,
Yeah.
the man was just on demon time. And, and once again, he has the fresh legs. And when CMC comes back, whenever he decides to come back, whether it's week 3, week 4, whatever it is, and he comes back, hopefully, I mean, and I know Kyle knows what he has in the locker room, but hopefully this right here, going against an excellent Jets defense, and I know they didn't have Hassan Reddick, but going against that defense that has no slouches on that defense, and he still runs for 147, should let Kyle know, like, look, I want CMC on this team and healthy, and I want to get as many miles off him as I can. Let me just give Jordan Mason between 7 to 10 carries, or just 7 to 10 touches, period, just so I can give Christian McCaffrey a rest. And that's just, like I said, I feel like I'm beating a dead horse because you and I and a lot of people been saying this for a long time. I think Throwback even mentioned it in the comments. Like we've been asking, like, man, we have
Mhm.
all these running backs. It's time to use them. Let's use these
Yeah.
dudes who we have on this team. So yeah, that's just, I mean, that's really all I got on that. But yeah, but as far as CMC, rest him because we don't want any hiccups. Don't be like, well, let's just go ahead and try it. Or even if we lose on Sunday, sit the man for week 3. I don't care. Like his health and his well-being is more important than what our record is, especially when you have somebody who's capable of carrying the load like Jordan Mason.
Yeah. It's still good, McNiner. And what's up, everybody that's joined? I see you all. Sorry, I was ranting, so I couldn't be seeing everybody that was joining. Yeah, Pam, says great blocking by the line, but Mason knows how to hit those. And Salah even talked about it, that after, halftime, they made adjustments on defense, started stacking the box, and Mason was still blowing them up. So he said, there was nothing the defense could do because, like Mason was running so hard, and then you have wide receivers on the outside that can torch you. So like, it's definitely a good problem to have. Now, my only concern is, though, we don't have Elijah Mitchell. He's already out, So our running back room is going to start coming up short here. Like, if now our backup is our starter, like our third has to move up to 2, or, and so forth. Like
Patrick Taylor don't have to move up, all this other stuff. Yeah.
Like it's very important that these running backs now, especially Mason, stay healthy because, like, God forbid something happens to him, then what? Like, we got to turn to Garendo and hope he can stay healthy. He hasn't been able to stay healthy through training camp.
Nope.
So, like, and then that guy, what's the other guy's name?
Patrick Taylor.
Yeah, Patrick Taylor. I mean, he's never carried the load, I don't think, himself either. So,
no.
We need you, Mason. Stay healthy.
Yeah.
All right, let's draw these winners. And then we'll get in.
Yeah. And another thing too, while you're doing this drawing, it's one of those things where, like, I've been, how much of a fan I am with Kyle Juszczyk, and I've been saying, man, if we want to reserve a roster spot, put that man in tight end too. The man has great hands and he runs good routes himself. Like, if you want to put him on the field and line up a 2 tight end set, I would love to see Kyle Juszczyk in that role.
Yeah. I was happy to see him actually get some freaking burn yesterday.
That was a nice pass right down the sideline. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right. These are the first giveaways. We got Debo Thrillers, and then Brandon Ayuk. It's like this little crazy cut. It has like squares out of it. I didn't cut it myself, guys. It came like that. All right. I'm going to call Brandon first, and then Debo. The rest of the giveaways for the second and third ones, let me show y'all real quick. It's going to be, we got this Bosa. We have Patrick Willis. This is numbered. This Patrick Willis is numbered. And then we have Jair Brown, rated rookie. And then for the last giveaway, got Mr. Brock Purdy hype. We got the best hoodies. And we have this baby right here. All right. So let's draw those first 2. Again, drawing BA and then Debo. Good luck. Good luck. Who's going to win all the giveaways today? Miriah. She hasn't been here for a while, so she let you guys win some. But here she is.
Coming back and sneaking in the wins.
Yep. Congrats, Miriah. All right, for Debo. Good luck. Nia Keelan. Congrats. And about half of you guys have had your stuff already sent out. The other half, it's on its way, but I ran out of stamps, so I have to go get more. All right. Congrats, lady. Oh, I don't know if Nia Keela's a lady, so let me not say ladies. Congrats to y'all. Look, why did I just open my phone and it was just randomly on this? Hold on. Let me pull up myself so I can make sure I'm showing you guys. Let me get this shit off of here. Look, just randomly, I pick up my phone and it's on this picture.
A crying Jordan.
And look what he's wearing.
A Rams t-shirt. That's hilarious.
I don't know why the hell just like my photos all of a sudden. That was from September 13th, 2023. And my photos just all of a sudden went to that.
Yeah, I know. You know how sometimes it says, "Oh, like they bring back memories or whatever." Like, "Oh, it happened a year ago, 2 years ago, whatever." Yeah.
That's funny. All right. So just overall, how did you think the 49ers looked? Obviously, you know, they go out 3 and out on the first drive and then score on every single drive there on out. Obviously, some of those field goals you're going to want touchdowns, right?
Of course. Yeah.
But you know, for week 1, like I ain't mad at that. Shit, I'll take that any time. Like score on every drive, yes, please. You know, no turnovers, like Purdy, like, yeah, you could say he didn't throw a touchdown, right? But I mean, let's be real,
Yeah.
Brandon Ayuk, he threw a touchdown.
Yep.
Brandon Ayuk, like, I don't know.
Yeah, like we all said, contract year holdouts ends up being lackluster seasons, and I just hope he gets it together quicker than not. Because I'm sick of seeing these dudes get paid all this money, and all of a sudden now they don't know how to catch, they don't know how to get a sack, don't know how to get open. I'm not saying that's Ayuk's case. I'm just saying it just happens so much more often than not. Where it's like, and if our history has shown it, it's a fact. Like last 3 seasons or whatever the case may be, it's been lackluster play from holdouts. So my overall perspective of the game, when you had I didn't, and you know who else I forgot? I didn't play fantasy this year, but you know who I forgot was on the Jets too, who's been a solid receiver his career? Mike Williams. So if you sit here and you told me that even though our defense is great, but if you sit there and told me with a healthy Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers, man, let me just talk about him real quick. As much as I hated him when he was on the Packers and stuff like that, he's still in my top 5 to 7 quarterbacks all time. There was some throws that were he was just precision.
Makes me
like
sick.
That. Like, I mean, there was this one throw on the sidelines to Alan Lazard that, oh my goodness. I mean, he put that in the
that one,
spot.
that Diamador Lenore was in coverage. Like, couldn't it be in any better coverage?
And then threw it to a dog. I mean, that Aaron Rodgers is so good, man. I don't care what nobody says. But if you tell me you got healthy Aaron Rodgers with a Brees Hall, you got Alan Lazard as your number 3. That's a good number 3 receiver. Mike Williams from the Chargers and Garrett Wilson, and then you only put up 13 points before he got pulled, and they had a garbage touchdown by Tyrod Taylor. I'm taking that. And I put it on Twitter, and shout out to my guy Jake Moody. I don't care what nobody says. People love to cry. He can go 3 for 4, but instead of being happy that he made 3, it's that one. Even if we win the game, that one, he pisses me off. Why we use a 3rd round pick? It's done, fam. It's done. We spent a 3rd round pick on him, top 100 pick. Quit crying about it. We can't take it back.
Yeah.
That man went 6 for 6 last night, and people were quiet as a church mouse. 6 for 6 on field goals, 2 for 2 for extra points. I think whoever had him on fantasy got like 20 something points from that dude. But you're sitting here, don't praise him, don't give him any shout out, but you want to sit here and cry when he misses one. Like, come on, fam, we gotta do better. You want to, like I said in the tweet, let your praise be just as loud as your criticism.
Yeah.
The man, yeah, I get it. Well, he hit the one, and somebody tried to hit me. Yeah, but he almost missed one. It's funny how the energy with the almost miss doesn't count for an almost interception
Yeah.
or an almost fumble. He almost fumbled. Who cares? But he didn't. He almost missed, but he didn't. He almost threw an interception, but he didn't. So who cares about the almost misses? It didn't happen. The man went 6 for 6. So get that man his props, because without him, if you know, without him, how many points do we score? Who knows? The man was money last night. So give that
Yeah.
man his props. You brought up the Ayuk thing. Hey, you know, he'll get better. I have faith in him. You know, I seen him train and stuff like that. He's like somebody. I think the announcer said it last night. He's in shape, but he's not in football shape.
Mhm.
There's a huge difference. So that's what I think he's a little rusher right now. I feel like by like week 3 he'll get it together. I still don't think he'll have a lackluster season, but you know, hey, we'll see. But you know, shout out to everybody. I know we're gonna talk about the game balls and stuff like that, so I'll save mine for the defense. But yeah, I mean, unless you want me to give it now.
Go ahead.
Okay. So offense, obviously, Jordan Mason. The man did his thing. 147 yards and a touchdown. I mean, you can't ask for nothing better than that. It reminds me of that time when we had what's it, Nick Mullins going against the Raiders as a third stringer, and everybody didn't know what to get out of him, and that man threw for like 250 yards and 3 touchdowns. That's what that reminds me of.
They still
Everybody's
show
like,
that record, like
yeah,
him and Mahomes
like
and
Mahomes and
somebody else.
Brady
Like,
or
yeah.
Patrick Peyton Manning or something.
Somebody,
Yeah, like
yeah.
in the first no, it's Andrew Luck, Mahomes, and Nick Mullins for the first
Yeah.
17 games for the yards. Like he's in that. He's and like I said, you know, he's not in that category, but hey, he's in the record book somewhere. But the fact that man went in and did something that nobody expected, but I think with Jordan Mason, people had a little bit more trust in what he can do and his ability than what that was. So, you know, he gets my game ball on offense. The defense was pretty solid from all 3 levels. D line was solid. Linebackers, obviously, shout out to Flanagan Foles for getting that interception that was tipped to him by Delmer Lenore. Secondary was solid. Once Garrett Wilson, once they started slowing him down, they were lackluster because he was tearing us up first half. He was
Yeah.
getting what he wanted. But then, so in saying all this, shout out to Nick Sorensen. Game ball, in my opinion. Solid defense on his debut. Like
Yeah.
nobody really wowed you as far as like nobody had like double-digit tackles or nothing like that. We just played a solid game on defense from all 3 levels, and you can't ask for nothing better than that. Like I said, if you tell me Aaron Rodgers was going to give you 13 points with all those weapons and 3.5 quarters, I'm taking it. And like I
Yeah.
said, they only got 19 because of a garbage touchdown because the Niners were trying to hurry up and get home. So yeah, so as a team, I'm giving it an A minus. The only reason why I don't give it a A plus is because we need to turn more of those 6 field goals and 1 touchdown. That's not ideal.
Mm-hmm.
But you go half and half on that. You go 3 field goals, 3 touchdowns. You get an A plus in my opinion. But A minus, like you said, nothing to sneeze at. We had an excellent game for game 1.
Yep, I agree. Hashtag smile to get into the second set of giveaways. Obviously Jordan Mason, right? Like, I mean, he could get all the game balls. But you know, we talk about obviously Ayuk not being there. It didn't look like he was in game shape, had the huge drop. And he didn't have to be out there every single play. Okay. Trent Williams, on the other hand, don't get to just sit plays off, has to be in there going against, you know, like the best defensive line on the other side. And the only time he left the game was because he had to go get some IV and came right back and got put in the game. So,
Yep.
you know, I was very like, I didn't know. Obviously, we know Trent Williams takes care of himself, right? But the same, he's not in game shape. He wasn't playing football while he's holding out. He wasn't even in the building. And yet you wouldn't know. three guys across that O-line had like the 100% score, whatever, and Trent Williams was one of them, like not letting a pressure, a sack, nothing through. Hey,
Yeah.
if that big old guy can sit home, then he said it had been like 6-7 months something since he had played football, like, and you would have never known. 300 and something freaking pounds, and he's out there like You would have
Yeah.
never known. Like,
And
holy
Mariah,
shit.
you know what?
So,
You know what the difference is, and that's the difference between a great player and a Hall of Fame player. That's where the difference comes into play. Because Trent Williams can, like I said, I think that's why he wasn't tripping. He was like, I'm gonna sit
yeah.
until I get my money, and I'm getting my money. I don't need to go out there because I know what I can do. I'm one of the best to ever do it in my position, and I'm not gonna go out there until I get paid. So kudos to him. And like you said, he went out for one play because he was dehydrated. Then he get that IV and went in, and the man had like, I think he had like zero pressures or something. Like, I mean, not zero
Hmm.
pressures. He allowed like he didn't allow any pressures. Like
Right.
that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, like you said, the defense as a whole just played like, last season, it seemed like the entire season we're getting up here and like this defense don't look like us. Like, this isn't the 49ers identity. Like, who are we, And week 1 of the new season, and that looks like my defense. Like, I know that defense. This is the defense that I'm used to seeing. Like, hallelujah. Like, I'm so glad, that, sometimes you hire, the teams hire coaches and they're not going to just fire them after one season because, you want to, okay, well, it's their first season. Give them a try. Let's keep them for another season, see if things work out. I'm so glad they didn't do that with Wilkes. Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
okay, you hired him, you gave it a try, it didn't work, cut your losses and move the fuck on.
Yeah.
And thankfully they did, because you can see a night and day difference between this defense, and this is just week 1.
Yeah.
Think what they're going to look like by the end of the season.
Like, yeah, between like over like week 8, week 9, it might be on like, like a what's it called, a well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
What I will say about this too, you look at all the other hires like the Salas, D'Amico Ryan, stuff like that. I think they were willing to learn and listen and be like, hey, this is what we do. I think Steve Wilkes was he's just one of them old heads that has had a head coaching job before, been in the league probably, almost going on 2 decades as a player slash coach and stuff like that. So it's one of those things where he was probably like, this is what I know, this is what I want to do, either take it or leave it. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
they left it. So, it's one of those things where, you got the Sorensens who, with Sala, Ryans, and Sorensen, you got 3 dudes who probably want to prove themselves, who want to be head coaches one day, who obviously 2 out of the 3 have gotten it. So you got players who are hungry, like, okay, I'm going to do this because I want to go up. But I think with Steve Wilkes, I'm not saying he's a bad guy, and he's been a great coordinator in this league. I'm not going to take that from him. He just wasn't good for our team.
Mm-hmm.
And I think because, like I said, when you got the players talking about him and all this other stuff, and he's just probably like, look, this has been my bread and butter for the last decade. I'm not going to change it. But at the same time, you have to be able to change with the ways of football.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Just like, we talk about how back in the day you had, when running backs used to be like used to be put on a pedestal. Running
Yeah.
backs used to go top 5 all the time. And then now it's become a passing league. And it's like, man, it's one of those things. It's funny too. I got a quick story. I have a I'm a youth counselor and stuff. Had a freshman that came into my office and was talking about being on the freshman team, and the kid's been good. He's had like 5 touchdowns in 2 games, and I was just like, "How you like being a running back?" And he was like, "I love it, man." I go, "Well, let me tell you this: running backs are starting to become a dime a dozen now." I go, "Start learning how to catch out of the backfield. Start learning how to run routes." I go, because these pass catching backs are now what it's be, the Christian McCaffreys, the Alvin Kamaras. I go, those kind of running backs is what's going to get you to where you want to go. I go, just
Mhm.
lining up behind the line of scrimmage and getting carries after carries is good. I'm not saying it won't get you drafted, but you'll have more longevity and you'll be used a lot more in offensive schemes if you learn how to catch out of the backfield. And he was like, "Oh, nobody's ever told me that advice." And I go, "Yeah." I go, "Work on them hands and them routes." Yeah,
You would think that football coaches would be telling these kids this. Like, this is the
absolutely.
ages that they need to start learning, like what the hell they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, I
Like,
think when
what
you're
are you
young,
doing as a freaking coach?
yeah, like when you're like when you play Pop Warner, elementary level, it's teaching them the fundamentals. As a running back, you want to teach them, how to block, how to hit the hole, stuff like that, to secure, knowing how to secure the ball properly. I get that. Once they start getting into like junior high, high school level, it's hey, look, what is your plans? Oh, I'm just playing high school and football because this is what I want to do. I have no plans of going pro. But if you see somebody who's really telling you like, hey, look, like he told me, what do you want to do after high school? He was like, he's like, I want to go to college and hopefully become going to the NFL. And that's when I was like, do you like being a running back? He was like, I love it. And that's when I told him, look, and then this what's like I said, like you're saying though, he's a freshman in high school. What at what time do you start teaching these guys like, hey, start working on these routes, start working on your hands,
Mhm.
because as the NFL is changing, you see what kind of backs are like the cream of the crop right now. You know what I mean? Or like the Derrick Henrys is great. That's gonna be phased out pretty soon.
Mhm.
So yeah.
I mean, shit, even with Mason, like we know what a strong runner he is,
Hmm.
downhill, pound freaking runner. Yet, what did he do over the offseason? Went out and got a jugs machine and
Absolutely.
practiced his catching the entire offseason because he knew that's what he needed to do to be able to get into this offense.
You have to. Yep.
And guess what? When his number was called, he was ready.
And he caught some passes too.
He did.
So yep.
Probably passes he would have dropped last year. So
Yeah. For sure. Yeah.
Pam had said, brought up Warner. There was a point when I looked at the timeline and there was fans and media and old football players and current football players, even from the Eagles, talking about Fred Warner while this game was on, about how good he was, about how good he is. Like you had Darius Slay even tweet out, if you're a fan of football, that damn 54 is something special.
Absolutely.
The ops are
Yeah.
tweeting out about Fred Warner while we're playing football.
Yeah.
That's how good this guy is.
When I was talking to Fred, when we met Fred Warner at the what hotel were we at? The Win, right? No, not the Win. Mandalay Bay.
Mm-hmm.
Mandalay Bay. When we met, did you hear me and him talking? Did you hear me tell him? Oh, when I was talking to him, I was like, man, I was like, when you got drafted, I viewed your tape, and I was like, man, if this man gains like 10 pounds and becomes a full-time linebacker, he's gonna be top five. And I told him that, and he was just like, that's funny you say that, because the 49ers during the draft process was like, we love the way that you move and everything. We love your coverage ability, but we're gonna need you to put on a few more pounds to play linebacker. And then it was just funny. We had that conversation, and he like confirmed it basically, like, yeah, like they told me, because I think he came in like 230 or something like that, playing like a rover at BYU, safety slash linebacker. He put on his weight, and sure enough, we look at it here. You can argue he's top three, or you can say he's number one if you want to say that, and nobody would really complain about that.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Hashtag smile. Let's draw these winners.
I do remember when you were
What's
talking to
that?
him though. I do remember when you were talking to him though. His lady was
Brothers.
eyeing all the females.
Uh-oh.
What's up, bro?
Oh. It's like said it was blocked on my screen. I'm like, shit, I blocked
Oh,
it.
really?
What's good? Hope you're doing well. He's still over there in Texas?
Yep, living the life as a HVAC
Yep.
tech. Yep.
That's good. That's good. Over there in enemy territory.
Yep, in the thick
All
of
right.
everything too. He's like I think where he lives is like 10, 15 minutes away from Arlington where the Cowboys play. So I know he's sick seeing all that Cowboy
Oh,
stuff.
wow. All right, let's draw. So I'm going to draw Bosa, then Willis, then Jair Brown. So again, this is what we got right now. Got a numbered Willis, Jair Brown, a rated rookie, and Nick Bosa, season ticket. Good luck. for Nick Bosa. Pam. Congrats, Pam. All right. For Patrick Willis. Good luck. Dina. Congrats. The ladies are taking over.
I love the fact that
Taking
linebacker is
over.
one of my favorite positions on the field, and then like 49ers like are so good at always keeping a good linebacker.
Yep. And man, like, you know, obviously we love Dre Greenlaw, right? But
Mhm.
there wasn't like much of a drop off, you know, without him out there
Campbell,
last night.
yeah, no, there wasn't.
Yeah, like it's not like we were saying, "Oh shit, what are we going to do with linebacker? Like this ain't working. Like hurry up,
Yeah,
Greenlaw, get back." You know, it's like now I'm actually feeling, you know, if they continue to play how they played last night, obviously. But I'm like, okay, you know, like don't rush him back. I think we'll be
nope,
okay until he gets back.
yeah, no, that's a
All
fact
right,
right there.
for Jair Brown, good luck.
Dang,
Ham again. Congrats. Congrats. The ladies swept round 2.
I think they swept the first round too, didn't they? Well, we don't know
Well,
who
I'm not
Nia
sure.
Keela
I don't know.
is, but
Yeah.
yeah, it seems like it's been all females from what it looks like.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. So I'll get the last giveaway set up here. What else? What else do you want to talk about? This is our
I
shit. This
mean,
was supposed to be our shit talking show, so I didn't have a whole show planned. So
yeah, that's okay. That's how good we are. We talk on the fly, no planning, just get on and talk. That's why you'll get real uncut commentary on this channel because we don't plan a thing. Oh, we're gonna do a show at 4:30. Cool. We get on and we talk. um, I mean, we pretty much hit the nail on the head with everything. I'm glad to see Ricky Pearsall on the sideline, looking good, looking healthy.
yes,
He was, they kept talking about it, they showed him a few times and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, can't even wait. Like I said, it's just funny. Like, I forgot who tweeted it, but I think it might have been Davo when he was like, so you mean to tell me we're still going to get reinforcements with Christian McCaffrey coming back? Ricky Pearsall might even enter the conversation, and just all this other stuff. It's like, man, we have so many weapons on this team. It's like scary, and I love like you mentioned before, Kyle Juszczyk. They when we signed him, they always kept telling him, I don't want to see him as a fullback. He's an offensive weapon. I like to see him get used like that from time to time because the man is underrated with his hands and his route running. Like he cooks his linebackers. So the fact, like I said, I've been like asking for him to be our tight end too for a long time because it just seems like we can't get it right. And it's like, and like
mm-hmm.
I said, it's not a full time thing. John Lynch and them always talk about versatility, versatility, versatility. Well, that man's versatile. So, like I said, and I'm not saying he's gonna be like Vernon Davis and Delaney Walker, but I'm just saying if you get a 3 wide receiver set with the empty backfield, and then you got Kyle Juszczyk and Kittle lined up as a 2 tight end set, that's scary. And I would love to see that sometimes, because it's not like he can't block. He's an excellent blocker. So, he has the size in the 6'2", 240. He has a size of a tight end, like of a move tight end. So I would love to see that more because I feel like every time he goes out and goes out on a streak or whatever the case may be, he makes a play.
Yeah,
He makes
yeah.
a play he doesn't drop the ball. Like he makes a play every single time. So I like to see that more because we got to have an edge when it comes to these games. And the fact that we get so far every time, use your full arsenal,
Mm-hmm.
use it. So the fact that he went out there and made some plays, and like we mentioned earlier, for those who were joining late, JP Mason, like, man, the man was on demon time. and I just love to see how we react. And I don't even think we've seen the best of our offense yet because Ayuk is
Oh
rusty.
no.
We haven't seen the best. Like we had no CMC, and we had a rusty
This
Ayuk.
is supposed to be our preseason. Like these
Yeah,
guys
so,
didn't
yeah,
play together
seriously.
preseason.
Yeah, like it's supposed to be. And then the fact that we were clicking on all cylinders, yeah, I get it. There was no touchdowns, but the touchdowns were there. It's just, part of the process with Ayuk not being there and everybody getting on the same page again. So
Yeah.
yeah, defense looks good. Special teams look good. I love Cowie back there. That's another receiver that, once he starts getting the NFL speed, and man, it's gonna be nasty. Oh,
Yeah.
and I saw that Juwan Jennings tweaked his ankle or something, and he's a day to day.
Day
So
to day.
hopefully,
Yeah.
so hopefully week 2 he'll be able to play. And before we head out, we always give our predictions and stuff like that. I'm going to go ahead and say we beat the Vikings. I think Sam Darnold's gonna come back to reality. He had 3 touchdowns. He was doing his thing. Give him his props. But I mean, level of who they were playing, everybody. I get it. He
And
comes
who
back
he's
to reality.
throwing to.
Yeah, but he's gonna throw two interceptions, maybe 1 touchdown. And I think we beat the Vikings because they're gonna be one dimensional. We're gonna take away that running game, and we're gonna let we're gonna have who's their running back? What's the name from the Packers? I can't think of his name. Aaron Jones.
Oh, yeah.
Aaron Jones, yeah, the running back. I think we take him away. Let Sam Darnold throw because we know Sam Darnold for playing on our team last year, and I think we beat the Vikings 35-7.
35-7. I like it. I like it. I'm not doing my prediction yet. I'll do it
Yeah,
Thursday.
with Steph. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll put yours down. Yeah, real quick. So hashtag dub to get into the last giveaway. DUB. Hashtag DUB. I totally forgot. I'm glad you brought up the Ricky thing. And I wanted to bring up, I'm glad the 49ers, I knew John Lynch had said something that, they were going to do something. But we didn't know what. So I'm glad that they had that the first responding officer, brought her to the game and her family. And then as well as, like the head, like doctor or nurse or whoever was in charge at the time when Ricky went in there. And, the 49ers like had Ricky down there, gave him both a signed jersey. And then the officer, all the 49ers signed a helmet and they gave that to her. And then too, I forgot to speak on the Gore going into the 49ers Hall of Fame. And they did the halftime ceremony, obviously, yesterday. Shout out, so many times the 49ers drop the ball when it comes to sharing media and doing shit on time. Like, can't get the press conferences right. Can't, and luckily, like on Twitter, they had, as soon as halftime started, they had the stream going with the Gore, halftime activities like right there to watch, so because on the broadcast that I was watching on the TV, they didn't show any of that. They didn't show nothing to do with Frank Gore. It's just those dumbasses up there talking about whatever the hell. And then Pam, I saw, about you talking about Manning. I didn't watch the Manning cast, so I can't listen to them talk for more than a couple minutes. So I don't watch the Manning cast with them on there. Like they just talk about bullshit too much. So I didn't hear what they said. I did watch the Richard Sherman podcast yesterday, though, after the game. But yeah, so I didn't hear his ass criticizing Ayuk. But with Frank Gore, they did like a whole ceremony thing the day before because David Lombardi shared a clip on Twitter from it. And so that video hasn't come out yet. So there's still more Frank Gore video from, them actually unveiling the statue to him the day before, him actually getting his jacket, like that whole thing. He talks, he speaks, like there's like a whole ceremony thing that we haven't got to see yet. So I don't know when the 49ers are planning to put that out. I wish they would hurry up. But just from the clip that David Lombardi shared, like it was literally probably like a minute and a half, like tears were literally dropping down my face already. And I'm just like, this is ridiculous. Like I haven't watched the whole thing yet. And then during the halftime ceremony, of course, I was crying because that's the reason that like I love the 49ers is Frank Gore. So to finally see him just like get like his love and him up there when they're like trying to talk and he just keeps going and I was a dog. Like I was just freaking cracking up. Like that's the Frank Gore like that made me like love football right there. Frank the motherfucking Tank. That's right.
Yeah, I got one of the best nicknames in football ever, the
Mm-hmm.
Inconvenient Truth. I love that.
Yep. All right. Hashtag dub. Last call. Let me share this. Get these giveaways done. And then obviously those that tune in that usually watch mine and Ty's WNBA show on Mondays. We didn't have it this week, obviously, because the 49ers were playing. Ty was at the game. So,
You know what's funny that the era of the Hurricanes football when they had like just back-to-back star-studded players on every single position. You look at how it went down with with the running back situation, Edgerrin James, Clinton Portis, Willis McGahee, and then Frank Gore. Out of all those four, he even had the best career out of all of them, even with 2 torn ACLs. Like shout outs to Gore, man. Dude is just an absolute beast.
Yeah. And that's what I loved when he was like, like he wanted to thank the Yorks for taking a chance on him. Like a guy with 2 torn ACLs and, all these teams passing up on him and the 49ers gave him a shot. Like that's all
one
in
on
that
each leg
speech,
too.
but, yeah.
Man, crazy.
Yep. Let me see. What's up, Kev? Says I may have missed the discussion, but though it's only week 1, the run D look. Yes. Oh my God, so much better. Malik Collins, holy shit! Like just having those big bodies. Like I know, Eric Armstead was supposed to be, like this whatever, but we couldn't count on him to stay healthy. And he was so tall, like he wasn't necessarily like a thick bowling ball, like that stops the run, right? Like a DJ Jones type of body in there. Like we've been missing that. And like I feel like now with that starting D line, like we have that. Like it's so much better. And even Bosa talked about it, like, how well Collins did. And he's like, I can tell that we're gonna have a great season, us two rushing next to each other.
Yeah. And then Hargrave looked even better. Like he looked more explosive.
Yes.
He looked more explosive. Like that was his one play when Brees Hall kind of got to the edge and Javon Hargrave, ran him down and tackled him. I'm like, that's the Hargrave that I saw in Philly. You know what I mean? That was explosive and stuff. And even, there was a discussion of him being out of shape and all this other stuff last season. But yeah, I'm glad everything is looking good. And, and it's, it's one of those things where if you have a D tackle, if you have like one of the star-studded guys and like the Fletcher Coxes and Aaron Donald, stuff like that, that's a little different. But Eric Armstead was middle of the pack type of guy. So for us to get, Collins and Elliott, I'd take that 2 for 1 anytime because you have 2 healthy bodies in there who get a little bit better when it comes to leverage and stuff like that because they're not tall. Like I said, 6'7", it's hard to get under the pad level and try to, push somebody back and pancake people or whatever the case may be. But like I said, there's no knock to Eric Armstead. Like, he was when he was with the Niners, he did his thing, but it was time to move on. And yeah, we look good. And Big Kev is right. Our run D just looks a lot better. But I will give Sorensen his credit because when we're playing that zone, like I said, Garrett Wilson was destroying us. Then we started getting more physical, giving the man-to-man. They took away all their receivers. Like they were so cool. Alan Lazard had his moments in the second half, but other than that, they took away the main weapons. And if you're sitting there saying, I'm going to take away Garrett Wilson, Brees Hall, and Mike Williams, and to beat me, you're going to have to throw to Alan Lazard, I'll take that all day.
Yeah. All right, let's draw. Yeah, I'm much happier with the way the run D looked for sure.
Yeah.
What's up, Melissa? And yeah, Pam, like there's that video that's going around of Bosa and literally like his head's being yanked off his body, twisted around right in front of the ref. And yet no flag.
Yeah.
We were talking about it in the group chat and it's just like, like Bosa, Myles Garrett and like Watt, especially
Michael
those
Parsons
three.
and
Yeah, it's like the NFL, they're not calling flags on them. It's because, they're so good that, if we let them be them, they're going to destroy every single play. We know that freaking NFL is all about these high scoring games now, so, could you imagine if they actually called a flag every time one of those three was being held or something?
It would probably be every other play, probably.
Yeah. Like, it's just.
Yeah. And speaking of that, on Sunday, obviously we didn't play. So I kind of bounced around on the TV watching different games. And TJ Watt, I don't know why I said TJ Watt got
Purdy.
2 excellent calls called back on him. They called back and it was like, man, and that dude was just destroying the Atlanta Falcons offensive line.
This is for Purdy.
As he comes in and wins at the last minute.
Another thing I forgot too about last night is that there was a couple times when the refs made a call wrong, and then they ended up changing it and said, oh, there was a call down from New York fixing the call. There was a time that he even gave Green Bay a first down, and Green Bay was already getting ready in position, about to call, run the next play, and they stopped them and had to move it back.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's about time that they're having New York review this shit. It's year freaking 2024. The way technology is these days, there's no excuse why, I've worked surveillance for 20 years. There's no excuse why you can't be reviewing this freaking video that fast, right? And it's nice that
right.
I don't know how much calls or how much it happened in other games, but I know at least twice in our game last night. So it's nice to see that something's being done about this shit.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about. It was a Garrett Wilson sideline catch when they thought he drug his feet and he was out of bounds, and then they were lining up and they were like, nah, he didn't get it. But it's funny how you say it's 2024. I remember I used to work with this guy, and I used to hang out with him, and his brother worked surveillance, kind of like what you did, but at the Win. And he was telling me, man, these cameras are so advanced. I can see the nose hairs on people's nostrils if I need to. He was like, they're super good. Oh, Alberto finally got a guy in there.
Alberto messed up the women's streak.
But but you're right. And this was a couple years ago when he was telling me this. So I can just imagine the camera quality right now.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Congrats, Alberto. All right, this is for Best Tutties. Good luck. Yeah, no excuse for this shit.
Dina.
Congrats. All right, closing thought.
First, congratulations to all the winners. I already gave my score prediction for everybody just now getting on. I got the 49ers beating the Vikings 35-7, and Sam Darnold comes back down to reality. Non-football related, I want to give a RIP shout out to James Earl Jones, legendary actor. I mean, played Darth Vader, was the voice of Mufasa, two two characters that are very well known, and this man was so talented back in the day. He got a part for the play called Fences over Denzel Washington. Dude just had a legendary voice, and he lived an excellent life. 93 years old.
Yeah.
But it was just sad to see it come up on my feed, and I was like, man, my Niners played today, and this is just some sad news. But I'm sure he died. He died in a good place. Always was talked about on a very high level as far as his character and everything as a person. My favorite role always from him was always going to be Coming to America, playing the king. I loved him in that. So just a shout out to him. So, but as far as that, go Niners, and I think we continue to dominate in week 2.
Yeah, chat. I appreciate you all as always. You guys are amazing. Congrats to all the winners. I'll be back Thursday with Steph at 3 for the Two Goat Show. I'll do my score predictions and we'll get into the Vikings game at that time. And yeah, appreciate y'all. Like I said, this was, shout out. We hope Ty gets home safe.
Yeah.
Because he was having some issues with his plane and his flight. So that's why he's not here today. So shout out to him. Hopefully, him and his get home safely. And me and Ty will be back next Monday for Aces High WNBA show. Tuesday for Shit Talkin' Tuesday. Me and TL will be back sometime next week. You got to be subscribed to know when. Secret. And yeah, me and Steph every Thursday at 3 for the Two Goat Show. Till then, we're out of here. Everybody have a safe, wonderful rest of your night. Much love, fam. Go Niners.